And good afternoon. Welcome to Mid-South Viewpoint. This is the video edition on my YouTube channel. I'm Byron Tyler, the host of the program. It airs here on AM 640 and FM 100.7. And we're in Memphis, Tennessee, and having a great day. Looking forward to talking about foster care and adoption through a great work in our community called Youth Villages. And we have a couple here that has a story to share. So we're going to be doing that over the next half hour. And we're glad that you could join us and learn more. If you have questions about foster care, adoption, hopefully we can answer some of those from personal experience as the Rogers are doing that right now. So thanks for watching. As we record the show, we bring you into the studio to give you opportunity to experience what it's like for us to be here and what it's like to do the show. So we're going to, without any more words, we're going to go ahead and start our program now. Okay, I think we're ready. Had to make a little adjustment there, and we're going to start. Hi, and welcome to Mid-South Viewpoint. I'm Byron Tyler. Today, foster care, adoption. Did you know on average there are approximately 7,500 children in foster care and around 350 children in full guardianship? That means available for adoption here in Tennessee who don't have an identified adoptive home. Approximately 1,000 children age out of care in Tennessee every year, and there are slightly less than 8,000 children in foster care. There are less than 4,000 foster families willing to provide homes for foster children. And today we're going to emphasize and kind of open up the topic of foster care and adoption with our guest today. I'm looking forward to visiting with Richard and Eunice Rogers, a foster care family and also adoptive family. Yes. Rogers, welcome to Mid-South Viewpoint. How are you doing?
Fine. Thank you for being here.
And tell me, you were telling me that you guys met at a funeral.
Yes.
But, you know, there's different places you can meet, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And so you had a friend introduce you.
I was at the funeral. He wasn't. And she was telling me about him. She wanted me to meet him. And I said, I'm not ready yet.
You're not ready.
But we ended up meeting.
You ended up meeting.
Yeah.
And Richard, when you first saw Eunice, what did you think?
Well, I fell in love right then. And the first time she invited me to her house, you know, she had a fence and gate around the house. Instead of me parking my car on the street, I pulled up in the driveway and locked the gate behind me. And so from there, that's where it started.
It's where it started ever since. Now, did he have to be very persuasive to you, Eunice, or were you pretty much on board when you first met him?
Little.
You had to give him a little bit of, he had to try a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He really did.
That's right. Well, you have you walked in the studio today with some beautiful children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
4 beautiful children that you have adopted.
Yes, we have.
But it started with foster care. Is that right?
Yes, it did.
I mean, I know a lot of folks are thinking about foster care, wanting to know what it's like to be a foster care, parent, some things that are involved. That's what we really want to talk about that today. As we opened up with some statistics they're sad. We looked across the state of Tennessee and the number of those needing, homes, precious children that come out of, variety of situations. One of the things too, I noticed that the opioid epidemic in Tennessee has caused a significant increase in the number of children that are entering the system. Many of their parents have had their rights terminated. And I did not know this, that the state, Tennessee, has the second highest rate of opioid prescriptions in the nation. And that is sad, Rogers.
Yes, it is. Very sad.
It's not just sad for the adults, but it's extremely sad for the children.
Yes.
Because that's who they depend on to take care of them, to house them, to feed them and clothe them. And when they don't have that, they don't have anything.
That is so right, Eunice. You've got to think about the children there and what they have to do, Richard.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard, to see a child hungry, not clothed right. And a lot of them don't go to school, and it's just hard,
Yeah.
to see a child like that in need.
Yeah. I think a lot of folks don't realize some of the things that our children in our community have to go through because of that. I mean, that they oftentimes spend a large amount of times in the homes by themselves because their parents are gone
Yeah.
or, whatever reason, and so it's really a big need. And the kids, sadly enough, it impacts the kids in such a great way. When we talk about family, what does family mean to you? Richard, when I say family, what's your definition of a family?
Love, happiness, and peace,
Yeah.
and comfort.
Eunice,
Family to me, because I came from a big family.
did you? How
It's
many?
a crowd. My mother and father had 6 boys and 6 girls.
Oh, my.
And it was always either 2 boys to 1 girl or 2 girls to 1 boy. So we was never alone. So it was just not being by yourself and just having fun.
I bet you've got some incredible family reunions and times
Yes,
together.
we getting ready for one now,
All right.
July 4th.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we might have to make a note of that one.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that is sport, love and support, caring.
Mhm.
I mean, that's some family values that you would expect, and the children need that environment. What about, were you both, you talked about your family. It sounds like you had a good family environment.
I did. I'm from Mississippi, down between Grenada and Charleston. So we got a chance to do it all. Learn how to plant, ride horses, everything. We learned how to do it all, even drive early.
Wow.
We learned that. And I have 3 sons of my own,
Okay.
biological sons.
And Richard, what about for you? What was your family life like?
Well, my family, we was a small family, it was my 2 older brothers and then my sister. And, we had a good life, When we was young, my father worked hard, and he kept the family together, And what Daddy said, Daddy meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sadly enough, in so many homes today, the dad's not there, and sometimes the dad might be in prison, or sometimes the dad just doesn't show up, and mom's working hard or trying to take care of, her children. And it's tough in many cases. What about the circumstances that led you said you had 3 biological children. Usually when a family, raises their children and gets them up to where they're able to go out on their own and make their own, way and jobs and family, they said, wow, now, we're empty nesters. We can do what we want to do together as a couple. But so why did you decide, what were the circumstances, or what led you to want to become foster parents?
Well, I like I said, I have 3 biological sons. He don't have any.
Yes.
He don't have children, just these 4. But my children was growing up so quick. And when my youngest son got in high school, that's when we got married. And he was so into his own friends and my oldest son taking him places. I said, well, I'm not going to have anybody at home. And for a minute, we didn't. And when he left, I went back to school and got a degree in social work. And I told him, I said, I want to adopt children. And he said, you think so? We need, and I said, yeah, because I wasn't used to a house being empty.
Yeah.
I like noise. He still don't, but I like noise. And I said, I'm going to try to keep somebody's child from being outdoors.
Okay. So foster care was where you first started. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the children that you have today that you've adopted, are they part of that original foster?
No.
No. Okay.
I had 2 other boys, and their parents got themselves together, and they went back home to their mother. It was 2 boys. They weren't brothers.
Right.
And they went to 2 separate families. But I thank God for that they was able. Now they 17. I just found out they just turned 17. Both of them. One was 17 in March, and one was 17 in May.
That's the kind of story, you want to hear, that you ultimately you'd like to see these children go back to their parents.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work out that way, but that's a wonderful story when it does.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So after these 2 children, then you kind of learned what it was like to be a foster. Okay, you talked about doing this, but did you have any kind of concerns or questions, or how did those things get worked out for you?
Well, my first question was they gonna loved me enough to stay, even if they couldn't go back home. Was they going to be obedient to stay and have fun and see what it like to be in a house and a family? And these did.
They did.
The boys came first, and then 6 months later, the girls came, and they just fit right in.
And these children you have now, they're all from different families, right?
No, they the same
They
family.
Oh, these are siblings.
Sisters and
This is
brothers.
a
Oh,
sibling
they
group.
are. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're
Sisters and
sibling
brothers.
group.
Oh, wow. So you're basically keeping a family together.
Oh,
Thank
yes.
God. Ooh, thank you. That's
Oh,
right. Ooh.
that's so
Those
awesome.
are my babies.
Those are your babies.
Mm.
Now, Richard, so you've had to make some adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Get a little closer for me there.
We made some adjustments. Well, I did, like, when they first came, I was just saying, well, Lord, I said, I'm in my late 50s. I said, I'm gonna just let me hang around long enough to see them get grown.
Yeah.
And so God is blessing, hey, my boys, Desi, he's 11, soon to be 12. Caleb, he's 9, soon to be 10. Elizabeth, she's 7, soon to be 8. And Miriam, the baby, she's 5, soon to be 6. So, hey, we in for the long haul.
For the long haul. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
And so what about adjustments for them? Were they automatically receptive to the home that you were trying to provide for them?
Well,
or-
at first, they couldn't get used to it, a clean house, clean bed, taking the bath. But, all that changed. She worked with them. She worked with them good. And so now everything is together.
They know what family's like.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wow.
They were just frightened because, like I said, the boys came first 6 months before the girls, and they was frightened. They was separated from mom and dad, the only adults they knew. And night would come, and they wanted to go with mom and dad. But after a while, they got used to it because they were still having their visits, supervised visits, and they got used to just coming, going to visit and coming back. But at first, they was just frightened,
Yeah.
like any child,
Sure.
even adults.
Oh,
We would
yeah.
be afraid to be away from our surroundings, some we was familiar with.
So you knew from the beginning that the two boys had two sisters.
Yeah,
Okay.
we did.
Yeah.
I did because I would go to the visits and courts. My husband never would go. And I would see them, and they would play together. But
So, I mean, originally, did you think that you would take all four?
not at first. But after they asked, and I said, well, if they come in, yeah, I'll take them all.
So who asked? The boys asked?
No, the court.
Oh, the court. Oh, I see.
DCS.
Okay, I
Say,
see.
if they come in, would you get them? I said, yeah. It'll be fun to watch them fight
Oh,
and
my
go.
goodness.
But
That's just part of the
Yeah.
family growing up
Yeah.
too, isn't it?
Yes,
that's
it
what
is.
You know,
All in growing up.
and especially too, there's, like I said, so many in the age where you are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in that age where you're looking at, maybe spending more time together, maybe taking trips together,
Yeah.
or, those kind of things that you want to do after you get close to retirement. But then taking in 4 children, it's got to be a great, great big heart that you have.
Thank you.
and
Thank
I
you.
mean, that's what I'm seeing here and hearing you say, and knowing that there's this love that you've got to share with them, and you're making them helping them have a
Mhm.
home.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful. How did you hear first about youth villages? When did youth villages become a part of your life?
When I was in college, I had went back to Southwest to go to school, and one of my instructors was a retired DCS worker and a foster parent. And she wanted all of us to go, all of the students, to go and do a service learning at a foster home or DCS work. And I said, well, I'm going to go to the VA. I did my service learning at the VA, but she introduced us to a lady from Youth Village. Came in to visit, and I was her best friend. And she said, why y'all want to try it? She said, you just wouldn't imagine how many children is in the system that need somebody.
Yes.
She said, not just our African-American children, there's Caucasians, there's Hispanic. And I said, ooh. I said, well, if I go in, I want some babies. That's where I always said I wanted babies. And I just started. We just went to the PATH classes, and the classes was so informative. Anything you think that somebody done told you that all children are bad, go through the classes for yourself.
Yeah.
They are not. All children are not bad that's in custody.
It's
All
true.
children are not on drugs. Their parents are not on drugs. It just something happened. But we got the best children. I don't think they have anymore.
Oh, I'm telling you what, when they walked in the door, they're beautiful. And their smiles and how respectful, and they're great.
I don't think they have anymore.
You got the best. You got the best. No,
you know something though? Everywhere we catch them children, people come up to us and say, Mr. and Mrs.
You do it?
How you do it? We said, do what? She said, we have never seen children sit down and be manageable like they is. They don't run around.
Yeah.
Trust me, we have been to places, children jumping from table to table, chair to chair.
Oh, I know.
But our 4 children,
yeah,
they know how to sit down just as peaceful.
They are good children.
And quiet. People came up and gave them money. Said, we can't believe these children sitting down the way they, sitting down, being respectful.
Wow.
That's the way we train them,
That is so wonderful. So you mentioned these classes. So that through youth villages, they really help prepare you.
They really help. Yes. They do. They really help.
I think that's too, because I think somebody that's looking and thinking about being a foster, care home and a parent, one probably has 1,000 questions, about how things are going to work, or if once you get into the situation where you've got children in your home or a child in your home, and an issue arises, you need help. Are they there to help?
They are there.
Yes.
Just call. They have an on-call number that they will share with you. You can call them. The children or the child that you have in your home, they have their own worker that will come out every week and talk to them. If they have any problems, they can share it. But you're never alone.
Never alone.
And right now, we have adopted, and we still not alone.
Wow. Even though you've adopted.
Yes. We still not alone. They don't come out, but I can call them because they got that kind of bond. Yeah. And I miss them. I was just telling the lady here, I miss them so much because they was great workers that came out.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when did you decide, after how long had you been foster care parents with these 4 children, did you decide that you wanted to adopt?
From day one.
Day one?
It did. We really did.
Okay.
From the first day.
And so, but did you do it the first day, or did you wait a little while?
No, we just went on through the process. Whatever they had us to do, go to court, take them to doctor's visit, everything that we had to do up until this time, we did it.
You did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you talk to the kids about this is what you wanted to do, your intentions that you would like to adopt them, what was their response?
The boys, they could understand, but the oldest little girl, she could understand more than they did.
Yeah.
And she said, well, Mom, we just want to stay. You our mama. You our daddy. We want to stay.
Yes.
And then she started explaining to them, saying, well, we got a mom and daddy, but this is going to be our real mom and daddy since we don't have our other mom and daddy.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's so special.
And yes, it is.
And so let's talk about some of the times that the Rogers family with the 4 kids and mom and dad, what do you like to do together? What do y'all go out in town to do? And tell me about life. What's a day-to-day like?
A day where they go to school, but they in camp now. But I'm going to tell you what they love to do. Spend the night at the hotel.
Yeah.
They love it.
They don't care what day of the week. They want to go to the hotel and spend the night. And their favorite place to go is to TT and Uncle Frank's house.
TT and Uncle Frank.
Because it's just like playing in the zoo. They run and play. But our favorite thing is going out to eat and just walking around and letting them just be children.
Going out of town.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Road trips are great.
And Richard, what are some road trips you've taken?
Well, we went
up a little closer there.
I think, what was it,
Nashville.
2 years ago?
Nashville.
No, I'm talking about, we went to Hot
water.
Springs.
Hot
Magic
Springs.
Springs.
Oh, I love going. Oh, you went to
Yes.
Magic Springs too.
Yes.
Magic Springs.
Yes.
And then the second trip we took was Nashville.
They love
Nothing but fun.
it.
And they love that hotel. So I guess
They love it. They
They
love it.
love it. They love just driving. Now we're out here, and they've been out here so many times, but just coming today, this time of day, they just can't wait till we leave.
Wow. And how about school for them? How are their studies and keeping up with their classes and things? How's
All
that
of
going?
them honor roll students.
Are they really?
All four
Uh-huh.
honor roll students.
Joshua, when he got in kindergarten, that's the youngest boy. When his first day of kindergarten, he cried for about a week because he didn't want me to leave him. But when he got his first report card, he didn't get a T-shirt. It was an orange T-shirt. And he cried. He said, Mama, he said, they didn't give me a T-shirt. And I said, Joshua, I'm going in the morning. They're going to tell me why you didn't get a shirt. When I got there, they told me that it was a honor roll T-shirt. And he didn't make the honor roll. He looked up at me and he said, Mama, I'm going to get it every time. And he did. For 9 weeks, he was on honor roll.
He got that shirt.
From the kindergarten to second grade, he had honor roll. And now all of them have honor roll.
Wow.
Sure do.
That's
Yeah.
so special.
They love school.
Richard, have you taken the boys fishing? The girls might like to go fishing too. I don't know.
Well, like I said, me and the boys, I got a nephew, stay out there in North Memphis. He normally rent a game truck.
Yeah.
And we, me and the boys go over there for a while and play. They play, and then and the girls mostly stick together.
Yeah. That's nice.
It sounds like it's just one happy family here.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay, let's talk to those listening right now on our program and thinking, you're answering some questions, and what would you recommend? What are some things you recommend to somebody who's potentially thinking about, I want to be a foster care parent, or I want to be an adoptive parent through youth villages?
I would tell them to first thing, you got to pray about it, because you don't want to make no mistakes. You don't want to say you're going to do it, and then when things get hard, or you look and say, well, this is not enough, finances to do it, and it's not about the money, you better pray about it. But when you get started doing it, go through your classes. Go through your classes with Youth Village, your PATH classes, ask questions, whatever you want to know. The instructors, the trainees that trains us, they got all the answers. They not going to hold back anything from you. And go through your classes and be honest with them. Don't say you're going to do it. Get a child in there, and just because they break a glass or I want to stay on the phone, children love telephones and games.
Yeah.
You want to get mad, but I'm telling you, go through your classes. That's the first thing I would recommend you to do. And talk about what age group. Let them know what age groups you want. If you want teenagers, say I want teenagers. If you want babies, young children, say it. But don't just say, well, I'm going in it. Whatever child they give me, I'm going to be sad. No, because you won't.
Yeah.
You won't.
So it's okay to ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
They just ask the questions. They will answer. I'm just adamant about it because they did it for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're adoptive parents and these children are yours legally, I mean, they have their last name is Rogers.
Mhm.
They're your children. So do the other parents, I know before you were saying there was an issue of visitation when they were foster care. Do they have any contact or relationship? No. Okay.
Not
anymore. Okay.
No.
And that's all good. And they're good with that too.
They are. They are. They were, they was good with it before we adopted them.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to go. They want to stay there. The oldest boy used to ask me, he'd pretend like he had a headache to keep him going. But now, they don't even talk about it. We don't talk about it, but they, they know. And I thank God for being there with us and guiding us through it.
Well, I just thank God for you two.
Yeah.
Oh,
And your willingness to open up your hearts and your home to these these children, brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters.
Oh my goodness. I mean, if it wasn't for you, Rogers family, I mean, I don't know where would the kids be. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know. Speculation, you know.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, oftentimes there's not homes for these children, and approximately 1,000 children age out of care in Tennessee every year, and so that's a tough transition for them.
Yeah.
So those listening can make a difference in the life of a child.
Yes.
By
yes.
inquiring and learning more. I mean, if you still have some reservations, like you said, there's these classes you can go to learn about.
Yeah.
And meet other foster. Did you guys meet other foster families at the time?
Yes.
Did it help you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I still talk to some of them. Their children is grown up because most of them children was older than ours, and two I still talk to. One she getting ready to send off to college when college start, and we talked all the time. And she said, "Ooh, can you imagine? I'm 65 and I got a baby going to college." And I said, "No, I can't imagine that." But I'm looking forward to that also.
You're going to have that opportunity, God, Lord willing, looking forward to that.
And another thing, I always tell my boys, I said, look, y'all going to grow up to be football players. Now, Caleb, he wanted to be a policeman.
Yeah.
I said, well, you can be that.
Yeah.
The biggest boy, Desi, he wants to be a football player. I said, you can do it.
Yeah.
I said, you got mom and dad here pushing you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Only thing you got to do is follow the guidelines of doing the right thing.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Life is about choices, and there's consequences to the choices we make.
Yes, it is.
And you're helping teach these children to make the right choices for their life so that they can reap the good consequences for their choices.
Yeah.
And that's so important, for children to have that and have that support and have that love. So if you want more information, I guess the website to go to would be youthvillages.org, youthvillages.org. So let me encourage those listening, if you would like to discover more information about adoptive, foster care, and Youth Villages is an incredible organization. I remember as a child when it was Memphis Boys Town out in Arlington, and they used to have a 4th of July special or family gathering. We would go out and have a petting zoo and maybe ride at some rides and everything, but it was the support of the Memphis Boys Town. But what started out how many years ago, a long time ago, I'm ashamed to say, but probably, I know over 50, if not over 60 years ago, as an organization, Boys Town has become this incredible work, Youth Villages. And they do so much, not only here in our community of Memphis, but across Tennessee and across the United States. Go look at their website and some of the offices and the work that they do, and you'll learn a lot. But again, that website is youthvillages.org, youthvillages.org. I just appreciate you guys and willing to open up your time together and share about being adoptive parents.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
What kind of work, Richard, have you done most of your life?
Well, I retired at the age of 48, but I worked at Sharp Manufacturing Company.
Over off of Winchester there, and
yes, and I had to retire, at an early age, at the age of 48, because I contracted gangrene, and I lost my left leg, and so. But I'm still able to kick, though.
Yeah.
I'm still kicking. Thank God for that.
I'm so thankful for that.
Yes.
And I had no idea until you said that.
Yes.
But I remember that Sharp plant when it was there.
Oh, yes.
They made TVs and microwaves?
TVs, microwaves, and now they make the solar panels.
Yeah.
They make solar panels.
All that new technology.
Oh, yes.
Anything you'd like to close out with as we say goodbye to those thinking about being an adoptive parent or foster care?
Excuse me. The only thing I would want to close out with is to remember, if you decide to do it, remember to pray and ask God to guide you, and then go through your classes, ask questions. If you think you're going to miss something like I did, always write them down. And just remember, the children is the one that we are helping most of all. Whether they're boys or girls, just do it from your heart.
Do it from your heart.
Yeah.
That's obvious what you've done,
Yeah.
Yeah. and it's brought so much joy to your lives too.
Yeah.
It seems like, and I'm sure when you got
yes,
kids, you've got. I'm
yes.
sure there's times, anytime you've got
Yeah.
children, there's issues and things you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But that's just part of being a family, isn't
Yeah. And children gonna be children.
it? That's
it.
right.
They're gonna be children, regardless.
Yeah. But the fact that they have a place where they have a home and have boundaries, because that boundaries are so important,
It
and,
is.
and kids
It
need
is.
that. They
It
want
is.
that.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
And when they grow up not having that, it's just not a good thing.
I
And-
tell you, children will love you when you correct them. Children love to be corrected in the right way. You cannot just let children grow up wild, because just like your lawn, you manicure it,
Yes.
you cut your grass,
Yes.
you do your flowers. You don't want them to grow up wild, just growing, doing, and saying everything, because they're gonna be adults one day,
Yes.
and you're gonna look back and say, "Oh, I could have did." No, the Bible said, "Been the sapling while it's young." So we got to do it while they're young.
That's
Do it
right.
for 'em.
That's it.
Well, Miss Eunice, Mr. Richard Rogers, God bless you, my dear friends. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We're-
Thank you.
we become
Thank
friends
you.
now today. I'm
Yeah.
I'm excited to meet you,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
learn about your family. Thanks for joining Bot Radio here today on Mid South
Thank you.
Viewpoint.
Thank you.
Well, friends, that's all the time we have on this edition of Mid South Viewpoint. Again, our guests, Richard and Eunice Rogers, adoptive family through youth villages. Please go to the website youthvillages.org, get more information, and learn how you can have a happy home and love on some children that need it here in our area of Memphis or across the state of Tennessee. Youth Villages is doing a fantastic job. We appreciate them again. Youthvillages.org. I'm Byron Tyler, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, YouTube watchers, thank you so much. These guys are incredible, as you well know. And so thank you so much for watching the show. Please share this with those who are maybe considering foster care or being adopting a child. And in this case, adopting a whole family of siblings
Yes.
that needed a home like the Rogers did here. This is
Oh, yeah.
fantastic. Great story.
Oh, yes.
So glad that we met today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.